Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Enjoy tons of bonus videos, including patron-only live shows, gameplay, and vintage 10 for the wins, access to podcast question threads, the Friendo Care Package, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson.
What's up, it's your girl Sasha Banks, the legit Foster. You are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, we film it live at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. It's a grand old time over here at Going In Raw. We had a fantastic Friendo Club TV today. It's our bonus content. You can get to it. Today we power ranked, among many other things. We power ranked like who's going to have best entrances at the Thunderdome.
Yeah, because they're promising like WrestleMania level entrances.
WrestleMania or better, so like a Saudi Arabia show.
Better than or equal to.
Exactly. And we had like a special guest in our Friendo Club TV today, but you'll have to watch it in order to find out who it was.
Indeed.
Yeah, anyways. So we had the go-home episode to SummerSlam. In the form of Monday Night Raw, and then there's SmackDown also.
Episode of Monday Night Raw.
I said the go-home episode to Monday Night Raw, which doesn't make any sense.
Well, man, based on the quality of the show, it did kind of make sense.
Dude, man, you know what? Here's the disclaimer. I really do appreciate that we are known pretty much for the guys who try to keep things positive and try to find the good in everything. This episode of Raw, I'm sorry. Last week I praised Raw. This past Friday I praised SmackDown. Every once in a while they'll throw me something where I'm just like, dude, they literally just wasted 3 hours of my day.
Virtually.
Of my life.
Pretty much.
Like halfway through, I started playing NBA 2K20. And I know I shouldn't do that, but I was so bored. I could pay attention to Raw. It's like right here, and 2K's right here. It's right next to me.
That's a testament to the quality or lack thereof of Monday Night Raw this week. That is true.
By the time, let me just say this really quick. By the time 6:30 rolled around, I thought it was 7:30. I was like, man, this has been going on. And then I look at the clock, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, it was crazy.
The first hour and a half especially were just, it was a chore. It was a serious chore.
And it was
like
I was going to say that the episode... I was going to say, dude, did this... No, I know you weren't here last week. And it's funny, we kind of had this...
a decent episode last week, though.
We kind of had this conversation today, how you say, and normally I would agree with you in that, by and large, especially with given how many recaps they do on Raw and SmackDown, about Raw and SmackDown, regardless of the show... Like, you can miss any given episode. I do feel like last week probably had 2 segment of the year type segments.
But then they basically replayed them at full tonight.
Yeah, so
you
really
really
did.
I didn't watch last week.
You didn't, and you got the more dramatized version of it, I guess. Yeah, dude. I thought that honestly last week was such a great go-home episode to SummerSlam. It was so fantastic. You had the Dominic lashes. You had obviously the Ric Flair thing. What happened tonight that we needed? What happened tonight that we needed?
The only thing I can think of, Apollo Crews beat Shelton Benjamin early in the show, and therefore Shelton and Lashley won't be ringside for his match against MVP at SummerSlam. That's probably the most significant story beat that comes to mind.
I'll take this tact. The Bayley, Sasha, Asuka, Shayna stuff was good. I liked that. And I think that, so we can definitely talk about some stuff there. I liked that Marina Shafir got in her first,
that submission she won with is pretty crazy.
I thought
like
that
a triangle, but with a leg in there too.
I think if Raw Underground can help out some talents in the same sort of class as Marina Shafir, you know, and Arturo Ruas for that matter.
Yeah, but what's the deal with to finish that match?
Oh, we'll talk about that.
They roll out ringside, and Shayna's like, all right, that's enough.
We'll talk about that.
Is this Underground Fight Club or not, Shane?
Didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense.
Why is he the one that declares when matches are over? He's got Spider in there, Jack Daddy, refereeing these matches.
Spider, yes, Spider.
Let him make that call.
Had we heard that before?
No.
What didn't Cal say something about him? Like he had like didn't Cal have like a nickname for him?
Oh, maybe.
Wasn't that Spider? I don't know. He said it, and I was like, oh. And then of course we got the big reveal for Zelina Vega poisoning Montez Ford. Although at least
hardly a shocker.
At least I actually appreciated that the kayfabe explanation for getting that footage made some sense. It did,
I guess. Yeah, Joe took great pleasure in saying that he had exclusive access to this video content, or his broadcast colleagues did not.
Joe was good.
Relish that.
Joe was
good every night.
Yeah.
Before we get to the beat by beat, such as it was the show, we got some new patrons. I remember where we left off last. So I'll start here on August 12th with Tommy Cat, J.R. Wayne, Tony D, Laura Tremont, Sergio Feliciano, Jose Gonzalez, and Yellow Tanker. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for your support. We appreciate it. And yeah, you can check it out. There's 3 ways to get access to that bonus content. And then just today for like everybody, Twitch subs, YouTube channel members, and patrons, I posted up a comprehensive for the month of August, so the first 2 weeks of August, list of all the bonus content and all the links. So I'm going to try to keep doing that on a regular basis so that every week you get the entire month catalog. And then I'm going to try to start doing the same thing for like our back catalog going back just as far as I can, if I have some extra time on my hands, go back, grab those links so that if you're a new sub, a new YouTube channel member, a new patron, you don't have to go through all the tags, scroll through the wall, that kind of stuff. On a weekly basis, you can get a backlog of info. So you can check out all of our bonus content, because don't you want to watch us 24 hours a day? By the way, speaking of which, we have an opportunity to watch us for 24 hours straight on the 19th of September.
Yeah.
Starting
at
10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be conducting our 24-hour live stream.
I'm tired thinking about it.
Including, but not limited to, special guests, Matt Chat Live, Rocket League gameplay, NBA 2K gameplay, if available, WWE 2K19 gameplay.
They had a tweet out today, said they're going to maintain the servers, so...
Yeah, I know. They need to do that then, because
that's Battlegrounds. We'll be playing Battlegrounds.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're doing it in coordination kind of with the release of Battlegrounds. We should hit up Battlegrounds and say, hey, we're doing this in coordination with your release, so we'll play your game for a long time if you give us a code.
There you go.
That way Daddy gets it free. So, yeah, that should be a lot of fun, or a clusterfuck, or both. I don't know which.
It'll probably be both.
We're going to do a Star Trek Wrath of Khan watch along, assuming that's still on Amazon Prime when we do the stream. We'll do a movie watch along of some sort. Not after hours, though. What a piece of crap that is.
It's not a piece of crap, man. It's not a piece of crap movie.
When's the last time you saw it?
It's been several years. I mentioned that. Probably been at least a good decade.
Oh, wow. You got to revisit it with like your eyes open. It's terrible. Anyways.
It's not terrible. I'll never be terrible.
Let's kick things off. Try to watch it on like a 70-inch screen. It's hard to watch.
All right.
Anyway,
your problem is not the movie. It's your TV's too large for your room. That's your problem.
Could be. Totally.
See, I'm happy I didn't get a larger TV when I moved. My 50-inch plasma, great picture, crystal clear, perfect size considering the distance we are from TV and couch. Perfect.
Boy, that was funny. He's like, instead I got my piano fixed or moved or whatever you did.
No, it's moved in the house, and I love having my piano.
That's good. It's
not even my piano. It's my wife's piano.
Sincerely, that makes me happy.
I would hope so, and I think more than anything, you'd want me to be happy rather than a new television.
I'm still working on getting you happy. Yeah, we've been working together for 10 years. It'll happen.
To be honest, a new TV is not by itself.
I don't think you're right. That's not going to happen. I'd buy you one if that was the case. All right, dude. So let me ask you this. So when Raw kicked off, so obviously they did so Drew comes down.
Do you notice he's got sword noises in his theme now?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I didn't. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I like swords. I mean, his shirts, all his shirts have swords on them, man.
Yeah, it's just unnecessary, man.
Or is it like sheathing sounds? Or
it's like swords. No, I think it's swords clanking against each other. Just like briefly. like that.
Ah, well, that doesn't bug me. So anyways, Drew comes out. He starts judging Randy Orton for blasting Ric Flair. And then, like, everything TV-wise starts going really wonky. Like, all of a sudden they show some weird shot of, like, commentary from, like a GoPro that's just sitting on the floor.
Yeah, and then there's, like, graphics that's popping up. And there's picture-in-picture for some bit with the replay or recap of Seth and Ray stuff.
Yeah.
Seth and Dominic stuff.
So all sorts of crazy stuff is happening, and then obviously it's Retribution. They're in the truck. Some cameraman runs up the stairs to the production truck, go in there. They have baseball bats. They grab like some laptops, which, come on, dude. Like, this show is not being run off of laptops that aren't even connected to anything.
I think they break maybe 2 laptops, maybe even just one, and a monitor or 2.
Yeah.
And the one dude sticks like a billy club or something up to another guy and threatens them to cut the broadcast off, which lasts all of a commercial break.
Okay, so that, if I'm not mistaken, that was the end of Retribution for the night, right?
Yes.
So they didn't do anything else on the show.
I mean, that's, them in a nutshell.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, but okay. I know. It's like specific times they show up. It's just this time specifically seemed very truncated. It was like they show up at the very beginning and then nothing else happens. Anyway.
Yeah. There's no. I mean, like that one thing they did modestly well, I guess, on SmackDown that relates to Retribution is made it feel like throughout the duration of the 2-hour show,
that's what I'm talking about.
They could get involved.
Yeah.
Raw, all right, they'll like break a couple things that are probably just in the warehouse, and then they'll threaten dude. He'll cut the feed, and that'll last all about 2.5 minutes, and after the commercial break, the show's back on.
Right. So then we come back from commercial because they had cut the feed. We come back. And Drew's giving sort of his own version of Big E's locker room speech. He's like, hey, together we can stomp them out. And then Seth Rollins shows up with Murphy. He's like, hey, Drew, let's not forget who was the first to teach you how to be a champion. Like I taught Dom how to be a superstar last week. Ricochet said, hey, I heard Ray's going to be here tonight. And he was like, whoa, what are you talking about? And Cedric was like, yeah, a little bird told me the same thing. And he's
got
like,
a receipt for you.
Yeah. And Drew's like, oh, what's wrong? Are you scared? And he's like, no, I can protect myself. He says, you couldn't even protect Ric Flair from Orton. And I'm thinking to myself, it's really not Drew's charge to protect Ric Flair.
No, it's not. And he took it, like we saw later on, he took the responsibility of that. He thinks it's under his watch since he's champ. You can't really be everywhere at once, Drew.
Doesn't really, especially a guy that size.
Yeah, you can't. It doesn't work that way. So anyways, yeah, Seth tells Drew, get your priorities straight or you'll lose the title. And I thought this part was pretty good. Drew says, oh, I know what you're doing, Seth. If you want me to drop you right where you stand, you don't have to make any apologies about it or ask. And then Buddy steps up to him like they're going to fight. They all break it up, and that was that.
Mm-hmm. So after that, this really, I was like kind of shocked at this next segment specifically. So Hurt Business comes down. They're great. We love them. MVP gets on the mic. He calls out Retribution. Now, a couple things stood out to me. There were 2 shots during this segment where the director threw to a cameraman who was running to a certain location. 2 times this had. That's called really bad TV direction. And on top of that, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I don't recall, with the exception of when they first started the Performance Center, them actually shooting somebody from the side where in the background you see like the actual Performance Center banner.
I think it's happened a few times. It's not a regular occurrence, but it's happened a few times, I think.
I was under the impression they try to hide that. The point that I'm getting at is that this episode really did feel like...
Well, you know why?
They were already packing up.
No, but you know why? It's because Retribution went into the production truck and messed everything up. They were running the whole show from that laptop. Laptop destroyed. Therefore, no camera people are in proper position to get those shots.
At that point, so did Retribution actually produce and direct the rest of the episode?
Maybe you can make that assumption.
Okay, well then the episode was fine. There were like really weird TV production gaps, and I honestly think, I'm like, man, they just sent all their production trucks, save for maybe like a skeleton crew to run Raw tonight.
When was the shot? Was this shot this week?
Today? Maybe it was last week.
Or was it shot last week?
You know what? It might have been last week, because whenever they mentioned Thunderdome, sometimes I notice it sounded overdubbed.
Yeah, it could be.
That could be. Maybe I'm just whatever. So I could be wrong about that. The episode just felt really like sort of bare bones. In any event, they come out. Apollo calls out Retribution. He starts making a really loose sort of some detective work, saying that Apollo is probably behind Retribution. It was because of the lights flickering that I lost that title match. And around the time he went out from Lashley's Nelson, or the full Lashley rather, is when Retribution started. But it's a bunch of nonsense. Apollo comes out and he makes a challenge to MVP, and he basically says, hey, listen, if I can beat your guy, Shelton Benjamin, Shelton and Lashley have to stay backstage for our fight at SummerSlam. MVP accepts. Then we get Apollo Crews versus Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah. And then, of course, Apollo Crews did, in fact, win that match.
Yeah, thanks to some distraction from the 24/7 division.
Yes.
R-Truth ran through the match, being chased by Tozawa and the Ninjas. That allowed Apollo to get it was like not a roll-up, but what's the cover? What do you
Jackknife.
The jackknife. There you go.
Jackknife cover. And so Hurt Business, they attack Crews after the bell. Ricochet, Ali, Cedric, they run in, try to make the save. Lashley has Cedric in a full Nelson, and so Ali's trying to break it up. He hops, jumps on Bob Lashley's back. Ricochet hits a couple kicks that eventually breaks it up. And while this is all going on, Truth runs back out to ringside. Shelton gives him a boot, covers him, 24/7 champ. MVP grabs the mic, says they're not going out like that. They won't be disrespected. Challenges Crews to pick 2 partners and have a 6-man elimination tag match later in the evening.
We see how that plays out in a little bit.
Yes.
I mean, look, I'll be honest. I actually really like Hurt Business and Apollo and Cedric, all those guys. I mean, the more screen time for them, I'm happy about that. But just, wasn't enough to save the episode.
No.
After that, Angel Garza is trying to spit some more game at the ever-present Barnett girl. What's her first name?
Debbie Barnett or Demi?
Debbie?
Sorry, Demi Barnett.
Demi Barnett.
Burnett.
Demi Burnett from
Sure.
The Bachelor. He's trying to spit some game there. Ivar comes in, ruins that, gives her turkey leg, invites her to, I don't know, bone or whatever.
So, the Raw Underground. So is
that's what he calls
implication after Garza smacked the turkey leg to the ground or tossed it that Hansen uses some sort of Jedi trick to will it back in his hand? Because we have seen that before. Or is there just someone off camera handing him another turkey leg in this instance?
Well, I mean, if you want to get to the minutiae, it could be either one. I guess it was supposed to be the Jedi trick because he did this very specifically.
Yeah, they needed to film that better then.
Oh, they needed to film the entire episode better completely because, it's obvious somebody just chucked it to him. Jedi mind trick, it comes straight to you in a line.
Yeah, you got to do that in reverse, so it looks like it's being, like compelled to your hand.
So anyways, Angel Garza versus Ivar was up next.
Hansen,
Hansen. That guy. I'm trying. I am trying. I think I finally have him figured out. Rowe is Eric and Hansen is Ivar.
Yeah, that's right. For some reason, I have a hard time just referring to them by their new Viking names.
I don't know.
Hansen and Rowe to me, man. They're War Machine.
I know. They said they didn't like that name though.
Nonetheless, War Raiders. That's
War
a fine name too.
That's a good name.
That's
Anyways,
a fine name. Hansen and Rowe are good names.
They're great names. During this match, Angelo Dawkins tried to come in, tried to bust down Burnett. Garza beats Ivar with a drop kick. Probably so not using that right.
Garza was getting beat up this whole match.
Yeah, I know.
He kicks Hansen in the leg once and hits the drop kick and then wins.
Okay, so do you know that? I think maybe starting last week, that was Garza's finish.
I think he uses that on guys he can't do the wing clipper to.
Oh, okay. Who did he fight last?
It was Dawkins last time, right?
Oh, yeah, it was Dawkins. Okay. All right.
That's just a guess on my part, though.
So Dawkins and Burnett show up on the Tron, and Dawkins
This was kind of confusing until Joe explained it.
So he sort of said, like, I was explaining to her, you got to watch who you operate with, who you run with, and we're gonna find that out about you, Garza, what? And I thought he said something like right now. He throws to something and then nothing.
Yeah, but nothing
happens.
plays. Again,
Nothing
Retribution.
happens.
It was all on that laptop they destroyed.
Okay, good. Kayfabe in it, good.
And Dawkins' phone.
Yeah, right.
And so Joe seems to have the scoop. He's like, yeah, after Retribution showed up, WWE's doing a review of their security protocols and going through, like security footage. And lo and behold, this footage was on some hard drive somewhere. Joe says he's seen it. He passed it on to Dawkins. He thought Dawkins might be interested. And he's telling all this to Zelina. He says to her, it's interesting what people do when they think nobody is watching. So we go backstage, and there's Dawkins and Demi, and Dawkins says, hey, can I have your number? And she's like, yeah. Garza runs in, and he says something like, well, if you want to text me at 1 a.m, Demi, just delete my number. And Dawkins says, I'm just getting her number so I can send her this video. So that brings Zelina and Andrade in. They're trying to take the phone away from Dawkins, and that's when he throws to video, and it's a brief little shot, high angle. You see Zelina walk into frame, her back to the camera, and there's Montez, his cup, and she's there for a little bit and then walks away.
Yeah. So you don't see really what she's doing to the cup. Yeah,
that she put something in his cup.
You know what I really appreciate about this, though? That they're just doing it and moving on. Yeah,
rather than making it a thing. Mm-hmm. So anyways, Zelina denies poisoning Montez. Says it's all made up, it's doctored footage. Kind of says Charlie might be responsible because she's jealous of Demi. And then Dawkins says Ford is his family, and that's when Ford runs in. They attack Angel and Andrade.
Before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Raycon. Larson.
Yeah.
When you're sitting in front of your computer recording one of our shows or listening to some new dope jams, do you actually want to listen to what you're listening to, or do you want to listen to whatever your family is doing?
Well, you know me, Steve. When I'm working, I want to concentrate on what I'm doing, whether that's recording a podcast, recording some music, or listening to the newest, freshest jams. I need a great pair of earbuds to make sure I actually hear what I'm trying to listen to. But did I drop hundreds of dollars on a pair? Oh, no. I checked out some wireless earbuds from Raycon. Raycon earbuds start at half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market, and they sound just as great as the other top brands you know.
Their newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are their best ones yet. With 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a compact, comfortable design that gives you a great noise-isolating fit.
Whether I'm working or working out, my Raycons have become my go-to wireless earbuds. They're comfortable, sound fantastic. Unlike some of those other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are stylish and discreet. That means no distractions from stems or dangling wires while I'm trying to be productive. You've probably seen celebrities like Snoop Dogg, Brandy, Mike Tyson, and company co-founder Ray J wearing their Raycons. Now you can pick up a pair and see what the hype is all about.
Now's the time to get the latest and greatest from Raycon. Get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/raw. That's buyraycon, BUYRAYCON.com/raw for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. Buyraycon.com/raw. After that, we had Natalya versus the TikTok queen, I guess. Natalya versus Mickie James. I liked Mickey's outfit. It was like a country version of the Captain Marvel outfit. It's kind of cool. Anyways, she comes out strong, dominates early. While the match is happening, more important business apparently, Seth Rollins and Murphy interrupt. Seth walks up to Joe and he's like, "Hey, just tell me how you know Ray's gonna be here. Just tell me how you know he's gonna be here." Joe's like,
the perfect amount of smugness. It's so good.
Joe is the MVP of the night, which is not good when the commentator is like your MVP. Meanwhile, back in the ring, Mickie gets hit off the turnbuckle to the floor, can't make it up by a 10 count.
And then she kicks Lana.
Well, yeah, Lana was TikToking Mickie James. I haven't checked Lana's TikTok to see if that's on there.
Yeah. So then Seth gets on Joe some more about his sources. Says if Ray or Dom show up on his show, it'll be their last mistake, and neither of them will make it to SummerSlam. So they leave, and Joe's like laughing. Meanwhile, Tom Phillips is freaked out. Joe's like, just sit down, Tom.
Just
sit down.
Sit down. It's okay. It's okay.
It's pretty great.
Tom should feel fine. He's next to Joe. Joe's not going to let anything happen. Anyways, after that match, Seth gets on the mic, says if Rey and Walter are here tonight, it will be the last mistake I either make, and neither of them will end up going to SummerSlam. After that, it's boss time. Sasha Banks comes down, as does Bayley. And Bayley basically offers to fight Asuka first at SummerSlam, so she'll carry the heavy load, and Sasha can then tap her out pretty quick. Larson, I get the feeling Bayley's going to get like rolled up in 3 seconds or something. Like, this is going to be a quick match to immediately stunt their plan for Bayley to take her out of action against Sasha. I think Bayley's going to lose that title really quick to Asuka to start things off. That seems
to be the case, yeah. Yeah, if this whole situation with Asuka challenging for both titles is a way to, run against the story that they were proposing tonight, then yes, that seems to be the case.
It really does feel, I mean, because we even got the setup during this whole segment here for Asuka to have a tag partner at Payback. This is really being set up to strip Sasha and Bayley of their titles so they can have their own thing.
Yeah, outside the title picture, yeah.
Maybe heading into Survivor Series or something.
Yeah, I mean, like so Bayley says, hey, at Payback, we got to defend the tag titles too, but against two, they've already beat the Iconics, Alexa and Nikki. They mentioned Ruby and Liv, and then she says, Asuka and, wait, she doesn't have a partner anymore because they beat up Kyrie, but right as she said that, cue Shayna Baszler's theme. She walks down the ring, says no matter what happens at SummerSlam, no matter who has the Raw title, she's got next. Asuka comes out next. She says tonight she's going to fight both Sasha and Bayley and with Shayna. And then Shayna will fight her. Shayna will fight with her before she fights against her. The idea is that Asuka's saying she's going to win the Raw Women's title. They seemingly have Shayna out of the title picture for the time being, despite what she said, because she's involved in some Nia Jax program.
Yeah, that's weird.
That might very well play out exclusively on Raw Underground now that Nia is suspended. So I guess if they want to have Shayna and Asuka go after the tag titles and then have their title program afterwards, why not?
I mean, I could totally see that happening. Them getting. I mean, that's a thing we've seen plenty of times before. We saw like Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold.
Oh, it's happened tons. Yeah, I mean,
it's happened tons.
Stone Cold did that several times with
Dude Love. Yeah, Dude Love. Yeah,
it's happened several times. So early in this match, Shayna's milling around ringside. I think after she gets knocked off the apron, Nia shows up in the crowd, punches out the plexiglass, hops over the barricade. And so refs come out. Pat Buck comes out. They try to keep apart.
I just love that Pat Buck is he's like his only assignment is to keep tabs on Nia Jax because as soon as she appeared, he was there with his salmon colored pants. It was hilarious.
Oh, those are great pants, man. Great pants. And so they're trying to keep Shayna and Nia apart. They end up brawling back through the crowd as Asuka hip attacks Sasha and Bayley off the apron to the floor. We come back. Golden role models have the upper hand for a good stretch until Shayna runs back out while Asuka's in a big statement. She breaks that up. Asuka gets the tag to her. She hits a bunch of offense on Sasha. Sasha rolls her up, gets 2. Bayley tags herself in. Sasha hits and Bayley hit a nice backstabber Bayley to belly combo, get a 2. So then Shayna hits Bayley with a gut wrench suplex, a knee. Locks in the clutch. Sasha in to break that up. Asuka knocks Sasha out of the ring, puts her on the Asuka lock. Bayley looks for a rose plant. Shayna reverses that into the clutch. Bayley taps.
Yeah, I get the feeling.
It was a good match.
I really this is the highlight of the night for me. It really was. This was really good stuff. And I do think that part of the reason why, besides the foreshadowing of Shayna's music hitting while they're talking about Kairi Sane being Asuka's partner, is that we also need to see Shayna win a little bit. I mean, not everybody watches NXT and knows what kind of, but lately she has not been on a great run. A lot of talk, not a lot of results. So seeing her tap out one of the champions is now putting it in the viewer's mind. She's legit. She can be taken seriously.
Yep.
So I thought that was good stuff. After that, all the best friends, I guess, of Apollo Crews, Ricochet, Cedric, and Mustafa Ali are all talking about, hey, who's going to be in this match? And Apollo, being the champion's like, it's going to be me, of course, and Ricochet and Mustafa Ali. And Cedric's like, wait a second. What about me? And Apollo's like, no, well, you were putting that in the full Lashley.
Yeah, full
you don't
Lashley,
need.
sorry.
You don't. You got to take the night off. I sat at home the entire time, and Ricochet was like, "Yeah, Cedric," and he's like, "You're my tag team partner. Why aren't you sticking up for me? Like I should be." Like nobody said, "Apollo, you already had a match tonight. You had a match."
Well, I mean, to be fair, MVP issued a challenge to Cruz, so Cruz has to be in the match.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah, he said, Apollo, you pick two partners.
You pick two partners.
Take on her business. Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, okay.
So Apollo has to be in it.
He could have given up his spot.
Could have. He's a fighting champion. He can't give up his spot. He's a fighting champion. All right. So then they leave. Randy Orton just wanders in, like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, and we just go to commercial. Nothing really happens. Nothing comes of it. Just wanders in. Does that.
So yeah, after that we had HBK giving Drew McIntyre kind of a pep talk. Drew's like,
this was really good.
I thought this was really good too, man. Drew's really good and HBK's great. He's like, I feel like I let you down, HBK. And HBK gave this big spiel about being a champion is about facing adversity. He says, Drew, he says, hey, listen, I need my space to face Randy. So hang back, let this play out. Give me space. I'm about to be murdered, but don't do anything about it is basically what he's saying.
Yes. Next, Ruby and Liv are backstage. Iconics enter. They talk some trash. Billy says that Peyton will take her place in her match tonight because her shoulder hurts. And Peyton's like, oh, yeah, sure. And then she just kind of randomly calls Liv Morgan trash. And then Ruby and Liv leave. And the camera pans over and Shayna's talking to Marina, Shafir, and Jessamine Duke.
Shayna in this segment kind of felt like NWO Sasha from We Book Raw. How she was wearing like her entrance or like her promo attire. All of a sudden, she wasn't in a ring attire. It was like a different Shayna in the building, but with this time with Jessamine, it was like Raw Underground Shayna, not main roster Shayna. Yeah. They were there. It was good to see them. That was cool. Did you see Peyton Royce won a couple of trophies?
I did.
At like what would this be considered? Like a fitness competition? I don't know if is it bodybuilding? Is it considered bodybuilding? Like she had these ridiculous abs. She looked like amazing.
Yeah, no, I didn't see necessarily what it was for.
It was some sort of bikini fitness thing, I think.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Anyway, she looked like $1 million. She won a couple of trophies there.
Yep.
So good for her.
After that segment, we got an extended Retribution recap. Didn't really improve their lot in my eyes. Next, Peyton Royce versus Ruby Riott. They always keep matches between the two of them short. We got to see Peyton Royce's brainbuster finisher, though.
As long as I get to see Deja Vu, that's all I care about.
Yeah, man, that's a hell of a finish. Peyton Royce picked the win after hitting Deja Vu on Ruby. However, before that, there's a bit down the floor where Ruby's down there. Billy Kay steps up to her. Liv, who came down to the ring with Ruby, kind of walks over to her to help out Ruby, and then Peyton shoves Ruby into Liv, knocking her over. So I guess commentary is really pushing the idea that Ruby and Liv, the healing process may have begun, but they're trying to advance the idea there could still be problems between them, regardless if the Iconics are the ones causing them.
Would our relationship be soured if somebody kept on walking up behind me and shoving me into you?
Once, no. It happened multiple times. Be like, dude, for reals, don't walk behind me anymore. Walk beside me.
I'm like, but this guy keeps on shoving me into you.
Walk backwards then.
But then we're not going to the same place.
Sure we are. You just walk backwards.
Oh, in the same direction that you're going?
Yeah.
Okay. After that, we had Raw Underground. This is a weird... Oh, their relationship is on the fray now because somebody shoved her into her.
Yeah, I know.
Raw Underground. Eric.
Ray Rowe, yeah.
Rowe. I know they're Viking names, but not their real names now. Eric versus a guy he murders with his knees.
Oh, yeah, he chokes him out.
When he chokes him out. Then down in the pit, Shane interviews Dolph Ziggler, who gave that match a 4 out of 10 performance for Eric. And then and Shane's like, wow, 4 out of 10. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Eric, what do you say about that? And Eric's like, what? He's like, you gave me a 4 out of 10. And he's like, come on, man, let's fight then. So Dolph decides to fight. And it's kind of funny how like these people are booked basically the same as their lot in the company anyways. Like if you're a former champion, a former main eventer, Dolph Ziggler, his power ranking is higher than a guy like Eric.
But I'll also say this, and they've been clear about this throughout his career, Dolph was an accomplished amateur wrestler.
Yeah, I know, but it's kind of across the board. There's not. I want to see like Arturo Ruas put it to Dolph Ziggler. You know, like
that'd be great.
Give me one breakout guy.
Totally. Instead of having him and Riddick Moss fight to the floor and then this fight ends.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. So
what the hell was that? But anyways, Dolph wins this. He chokes out Ray Rowe after putting his thumb in his eye, and then Hanson pounces Dolph out of the ring into the crowd. That was cool.
I like that whole thing. I like that he had him, and it's like, oh, he doesn't quite have it, and he sticks his thumb in his eye because Vince has an eye fetish now. After that, Booyaka, Rey Mysterio returns. He delivers a promo where he talks about when I saw Dom getting lashed 30 times, I felt pain, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be in your corner, Walter, to watch you kick ass in this street fight against Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and then Seth shows up at the Tron and just talks way too much. After Dom essentially says, hey, thanks, Dad. He said, I know what I'm getting into. I knew what I was getting into signing a WWE contract. So apparently he's officially, at least in kayfabe, a WWE superstar now.
Well, that's what the contract signing was last week. There were two contracts.
I missed that.
One that was a WWE contract, superstar contract, and the other for the actual fight. Well, there you go. Now
so
you're filled in.
Seth is on the Tron, talking on and on. Surprised he showed up. I didn't take Ray. Ray, I didn't take you for an idiot. Keep on putting your son in danger. You always make this about you. This all could have been prevented if you just knew your role, fit into the greater good, but you resisted. And then Ray says, Seth, all right, you say a bunch of fancy words here. You like to talk? Why don't you come down here and back him up? Seth laughs and says, Ray, you have one eye. Dom, you can barely stand up straight. Remember, you asked for this. Now don't move an inch. So Seth and Buddy come down the ring, and Dom and Ray leave. But the idea is like, okay, well, they called our bluff. You know, Ray has one eye. Dom got beat to shit last week. We're in no shape to fight. However, Ray starts circling around the ring, kind of taunting Seth and Buddy, faking like he's going not. This allows Dom to go grab a couple of kendo sticks from behind the barricade, and he gets in the ring, takes out Seth. Buddy tosses one to Ray, and they beat the hell out of Seth.
Yeah,
they try to do to him what Seth and Buddy did to Dom last week. Try to trap him in the ropes. Buddy runs in to distract him long enough so Seth could free himself, and then they leave.
Yeah, but like he's been around for a long time. He's not going to take those kind of lashings.
So I was watching Dom take that beating last week. He was leaning in, like he was against the ropes. He was pushing his chest out to take those shots.
They wanted it to look gnarly, and they did a great job. They really did.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
So, I mean, I guess if there's any math here, Seth is going to win this thing. Like, he kind of shouldn't.
No, based on the story being told, he shouldn't. No.
He really shouldn't. I feel like he's going to, though.
I don't have a high degree of confidence either way. Like based on the story, Dom should with Ray's help. That should be the way the story plays.
And I'm probably going to go with that for our predictions because also something Ray said, and I know these are just words and it's silly, but Seth said, Ray, your family name and your legacy is on the line here. And those kind of words I think probably mean something to Ray in terms of like, well, if Seth wins this, then, you know, my name is trash.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to go to AEW as Trash Mysterio. He wants to re-sign with WWE for a lot of money. So, yeah, I mean, Seth totally should lose this. But given that the Mysterio guys got the upper hand here, I mean, math might suggest.
The math isn't 100% accurate.
It's only 60% accurate.
Yeah, roughly 60%. So this will be one of the cases where you stand tall, you still get the W at the pay-per-view. This next bit, MVP rolls up to Cedric backstage. It's like, hey, I understand your frustration, a young man trying to navigate his way through WWE. You're back here milling about backstage when you think you should be in the ring, except with me, MVP, it wasn't my friends holding me back. And Cedric says, "Oh, I know what you're doing. You're trying to stir the pot. Apollo was just looking out for my best interest." And MVP says, "Maybe you're right. Maybe he just wanted to give the night off, or maybe he saw you in the full Nelson and thought, yeah, maybe you're the weakest link. And also, it must be hard being a tag team with the dude who calls himself the one and only. My offer still stands. You should think it over."
And then Cedric, like MVP leaves, and Cedric basically does the Newman.
And he throws a bottle of water.
Yeah, he gets mad. He's like, "Oh, everything he said is true."
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah.
Now we got to talk about this.
After that, so back to Raw Underground. Arturo Ruas versus Riddick Moss. And they're doing a pretty good job simulating a fight. I'll be honest with you.
This was actually really fun. It was fun.
This was a really fun match while it was going on in the ring. Lots of like takedowns and slams and chokes and stuff like that. They end up rolling to the outside. A couple of guys, like one guy sort of comes at Ruas. He knocks him out just with one punch. Same thing happens to Riddick Moss. Shane says, okay, that's good. By the
rules of pro wrestling, that's a disqualification. So therefore, I guess the match has to end.
That's not a DQ. Well, okay, so the rules of WWE are kind of nebulous, but they didn't get punched. They did the punching.
I mean, there's been times the refs have called match for less.
Yeah, no, it's completely inconsistent. But in this case, it didn't make...
The point is, though, this is Raw Underground.
Don't thumb the guy in the eye. Yeah, I know. This should totally have kept on going. I don't know why Shane was so insistent it stopped. I want to see these two as a Raw Underground... like on main roster, but in their Raw Underground personas as a tag team. They desperately need tag teams. I'm a big fan of Ruas. I could totally get behind Riddick Moss. Just make these guys grizzly fighters.
That promo that Riddick Moss dropped at the NXT house show here, the second one we went to.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Great.
Yeah, it was really good. I know. And then he did Riddick Regiment for one loss, and then that was it. That was weird. That was the weirdest thing.
All right, this next bit was frustrating. So it's Cruz, Ricochet, Mustafa Ali taking on Hurt Business. And so I recorded this particular part of the show. So while I was watching it, the match started, there was 2 minutes left. Now, when I picked up this match after I stepped away while I was recording, it was when Cruz had just eliminated Shelton Benjamin after the toss powerbomb, and that's when Ricochet runs down, rolls him up for the 24/7 title. So I didn't see anything else the rest of the match. So they come back from commercial. It's obvious that Cruz is essentially a 2-on-1 handicap match. I was like, oh man, that's shitty. They eliminated Mustafa Ali and Ricochet during a commercial break. That wasn't the case, but they did eliminate both of them within the span of a commercial break, 2.5 minutes.
No, it was all on camera. It was
it was
very
I watched
fast,
but it was the exact duration more or less of a commercial break.
Oh,
about 2.5 minutes, and it's BS.
Yeah, it was like Lashley eliminated. Well, on one, you're right. It was. This could have been a really, really, really fun match, and you could have told the same story, but with a lot more drama. They really play. Yeah, I don't disagree, because it was like it shouldn't be. Here's the thing: a finisher really should be sort of the thing that finishes you off after you've already taken quite a beating. Now, there are exceptions to this. You might say, I didn't like this, but I get that Brock's F5 is like super powered. He can drop somebody with one. If they're not paying attention, it could be a 3 count. By and large, like, you shouldn't be using that as like one move and you're done.
Yeah.
And that's basically what they had. They Lashley eliminated Ali with the Dominator, and then Shelton Benjamin hit pay dirt on Ricochet, and that got him a 3.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they bring back Mustafa Ali to a relative decent amount of fanfare. He has a really good showing at a tag match against Hurt Business. He pinned MVP in that match.
Yeah,
and he's just been taking L after L since then.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, you got Ali, you got Ricochet. There's 2 dudes there that you could push and make money off of, and they're not doing it. Well, you could say that for countless other people too. It's just frustrating to see.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I totally get what you're saying, but you also have Shelton Benjamin now doing cool stuff that he wasn't doing before. Bobby Lashley is finally being booked in a position.
No, and here's the thing. As you mentioned, you give this match time.
I know.
Build some drama. There's good stories to be told where it's not so much Ali or Ricochet taking L's.
Yeah.
Within the context of a good story and giving them an opportunity to put on good performances, that's fine.
Yeah.
When you have Mustafa and Ali in the ring for 2 minutes and he loses, it's not great because there's no story being told. There's no advancement in story. Same with Ricochet.
I know. I don't disagree. So anyways, Cruz hits Shelton Benjamin with, does he have a name for this? Or is just the toss-up
Commentary just
powerbomb?
calls it toss powerbomb, yeah.
Toss powerbomb, okay. He gets eliminated. Cedric, meanwhile, runs out. He gets the last laugh. Well, not the last laugh, but he gets a laugh in, winning the 24/7 title from Shelton. MVP takes control against Cruz. Cruz ends up hitting his powerbomb, the toss powerbomb on MVP, which leaves Lashley and Cruz. Lashley immediately comes in, starts picking apart Apollo. Apollo ends up getting 2 with a standing moonsault. Lashley tries for the full Lashley, but then he ends up getting a win with a spear for that to get the victory there. After that, we had Cedric Alexander versus Tozawa in a straight-up 24/7 match. MVP is watching backstage. Cedric Alexander is totally... He might end up screwing Apollo out of that title at SummerSlam.
It's entirely possible. He picks up the win on Akira Tozawa here, and then Shelton Benjamin comes in and hits pay dirt on him to get the belt back.
Yeah. Next up, I like this bit. Marina Shafir on Raw Underground. She makes, I don't know who this was, tap out.
Oh no, I don't know.
Was this a knee bar or an ankle lock? It looked like an ankle. She had like that.
It was like an arm. It was a triangle, but she got the leg in there.
Yeah, it was cool. I was like,
cool.
what was that?
Cool.
So that was cool. Nia Jax shows up out of nowhere, shoves Jessamine Duke. Shayna gets pissed at that. Shane's like, come on, let's bring it up to the ring. So it's going to be Nia Jax versus Shayna in Raw Underground. Bell rings. Nia just runs.
Yeah, she just leaves. They also announced that next week on Raw Underground will be Hanson versus Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, that's cool. After that, we had Montez Ford versus Andrade. It was good to see Montez Ford back. He did one of those crazy flips to the outside. We had some cool...
Oh, his tope is great, man.
Oh, it's terrific. We had a couple of really great chops from Andrade. Good to see that as well. The finish saw Zelina Vega up on the apron. Bianca Belair runs down, so she's trying to distract. Bianca comes running down. Zelina tries to do a fun splash onto Bianca. Bianca just catches her, slams her to the floor. That distraction led Montez to get the roll up in 3.
The timing of it, because Ford's going up top. Andrade runs against the ropes to knock him off. It almost looked like it could have been 2. That when Andrade hit the ropes, that
did Zelina fall? Oh, okay.
The commentary said it was your situation, but when I saw the replay, I was like, it could have just easily been she was knocked off because when I don't know, it could have been either way.
Yeah.
Commentary said it was your situation, so I'm assuming it's the situation you mentioned, that she saw Bianca and was trying to, do something.
Because it happened very quick. It wouldn't surprise me if it was what you're talking about. Because
it was bang bang.
As soon as Bianca got there, and it's not like it didn't look like she was trying to put any offense into the splash. It looked like
It looked like she just jumped off the apron into Bianca's arms. That's what it looked like.
That's what it looked like. Yeah, that's what it looked like. After that, we had our main event segment. Again, even this I thought was way weaker than last week. I mean, last week was the big. It was the nut. It was.
Yeah, they really should have saved that for.
I mean, even this week. So Shawn Michaels comes out. He's getting very emotional immediately, talking about Ric Flair, how
his health scare,
the health scare, and he's like, all he loved to do was perform in this ring. Without him, there'd be no me, which means there'd be no Triple H, which means there'd be no this guy, that guy, the other guy.
It's Christian and no Randy Orton, yeah.
And there'd be no Randy Orton. He's like, but you don't have that same appreciation we have for Ric Flair, even though this guy was with you throughout your formative years. He was teaching you. He was that guy. He said, I don't know if you're going to explain what he said in the end. He said, I don't know if you're going to meet your end via Sweet Chin Music or Claymore. Did he say Sweet Chin Music here?
He did. I guess the implication was that for whatever reason, Drew doesn't hit him with Claymore. HBK would find a way to hit him with Sweet Chin Music.
Okay.
So maybe they're going to do something where if they want to get the belt off Drew and onto Randy and have it be a relatively protected loss for Drew, maybe HBK would be like, I'm going to get my pound of flesh from Randy during the match and end up costing Drew the title.
That could be. That'd be cool. So anyways,
he said, Randy, you'll see it coming.
Yeah. So then
HBK
Randy Orton
didn't see this coming.
no, but this was even weird. So like Orton shows up, RKO, punt. Drew comes running down.
RKO punt combo I think I've ever seen.
It was really fast, and HBK like he sold it, but like not like a lot of people have sold it where they just lay there like they're dead. Like he started getting up afterwards, and he was like getting up into the corner. Drew comes down, runs him off. Orton tries to come back and blindside Drew. They brawl to the outside. Drew basically takes out Orton, gets back in the ring, but doesn't like pay attention to what Orton's doing because Orton just comes back in, RKO's Drew.
Yeah. So maybe they're going to do a thing where Shawn Michaels comes out for the match, gets somewhat involved. Drew's distracted by that. He eats sweet chin music. RKO punt. He loses.
Think I'm cute. Let's answer questions. I got the Patreon thread here. Nemo says, not a question. Just want to wish Delete a happy birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday,
happy
Delete. That's
birthday,
cool.
Delete. Blake Whitehouse, how would you write off the 24/7 title in kayfabe?
Have someone win it, and then have that person then shortly thereafter, while holding the 24/7 title, win a mid-card title. Merge them.
That's good. That works.
Dang MQ says that Xavier Woods was streaming Raw versus SmackDown 06 because he was streaming on Twitch during Raw.
That's awesome. Good for him. Let's see here.
Duckman says Shane had to stop the fight so they go to commercial. True.
Trying to get that Raw Underground advertising money. Eugene Reyna says, not Raw related, but y'all were far and away the best part of Quizlemania 2000.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you, Eugene. Appreciate it.
It was a good first hour for us.
Gamer Realm asks, could we see an appearance of Cowboy Bob Orton and he gets punted too?
Guess it's entirely possible.
Although
he was just on TikTok with Randy and Randy's kid.
Yeah, I saw that. That was very cute.
Doing a dance. Diehard Homer and kayfabe. Where is Raw Underground? It's in that warehouse that Edge and Orton fought in during their match.
It's got to be actually underground. It's in kayfabe. It's the bunker.
Underground as a literal thing, man.
The bunker. Wolfpack for life. Would Raw Underground be a perfect way to bring up the other MMA horsewomen to help Shayna? Shayna starts challenging multiple people at a time. Was this written before? It was 5 hours ago. That would have been it.
Would have been at 4:30 our time before Raw started.
Wow. Good on you, Wolfpack for life. My goodness gracious.
That's very good. Gareth Nicholas. Are jeans required attire in Raw Underground? Either jeans or MMA gear.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Hunter Vandament. Now that in kayfabe we learned that Retribution knows how to run a TV production, what movie directors could be in Retribution?
Oh, great question. Michael Bay.
Yeah, bad ones. Bad ones. Uwe Boll.
Uwe Boll, yeah. Skyotonic, power rank top 4 who can sell the punt really well. Okada sells everything well, so I'll say Okada.
Christian sold it pretty well. They need to get somebody that like puts like a blood pack in their mouth and they go.
Yeah, I know.
Or somebody gets
do a thing. Where they have the blood pack at especially if they're bald, have it under a bald cap or something that they can just lay over it. So when the punt hits there, this blood squirts out from their head.
Robbie DeShazar, how likely is it that a split in Zelina Vega's crew would lead to a mixed tag match between Andrade, Zelina, and Angel and Charlie Caruso?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if Charlie is trained to be a wrestler or wants to be a wrestler.
I don't know.
I don't think I'd want to see that.
Solid Dante, how would you introduce an underground title tournament? Payback should have been the Raw Underground pay-per-view, man.
Yep. Mr. Sinister, with Asuka wrestling Bayley first at SummerSlam, if she wins the title, what are the odds of Sasha getting Asuka to also put the title on the line for a winner-take-all?
Oh, that's interesting.
That would be really interesting if Sasha walked away with all the titles.
That would be interesting. Jorge D, if WWE built the actual Thunderdome, what gimmick matches can you see them doing in the dome? So Pro Wrestling Sheet had a little quick bit of video of the construction of Thunderdome.
Oh, that's cool.
Can't really tell, though, if it's a proper, dome structure or not. So, Elimination Chamber is a dome. So maybe something like that.
That's good. Let's see here. Moses Supposes. In kayfabe, how did Raw get back on the air after Retribution took over the production truck? Retribution ran Raw tonight.
Yeah, they did. That's kayfabe. I'm just trying to do something. Do you see a 5-star match happening on Raw Underground? No. No, Shane will stop it before he gets there.
Yeah. Dog Authority figure. In kayfabe, why would anyone want to fight in Raw Underground? There's no title. Most of the matches don't even appear to get televised. The risk of injury is high. Shane is paying the winner's purse is like double that on Raw.
No Haven, do you think it would be a good idea with no fans in person to bring back Cyber Monday, a good way to get some online interaction? Yeah, maybe.
The thing about that is that it always feels like they
they fixed those polls, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do something. Which unused talent should be spotlighted on Raw Underground?
Cedric should be the official Hurt Business representative of Raw Underground.
Okay.
He's like, MVP's like, hey, remember that 1 week we took over Raw Underground and then we never did anything with it again? You want to be that guy?
Man, that was a good idea. They should have really followed through on.
Tyler Quint, do you see Montez Ford ever being more than just a tag team guy? I think he could be a big star. We think he could be a big star too.
Yeah. I think both he and Angelo Dawkins could be have good solo runs. Saul does, okay, friendos, the time is coming for Seth to leave and be a dad. Based on tonight, who and how do you write Seth off TV?
Dominic wins. Dominic out-wrestles him, and he's so humiliated. Embarrassed. He has to leave.
Dr. Steve Winters says there are some questions on the Discord.
Thank you, Dr. Steve Winters. Kobe says, after this build, everything Randy Orton has done, do you think that maybe now is the right time to put the title on him? And then Drew maybe gets it back at like Survivor Series or something? Yeah, I think he's probably going to win that title, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Although the math didn't look good for him tonight.
No, Ryan K. Lamb, if the Thunderdome is basically live fans zooming in, how long will it take for someone to show their goods in the Thunderdome? It hasn't happened in the NBA yet.
They're goods. Dude, I guarantee there are going to be people vetting what's happening on there.
Oh, yeah. That's why there's an application process.
Let's see here. Alex Foster, Steve versus Larson in Raw Underground. Who wins? I think it gets broken up. We
roll to the floor and Shane says we got to go to commercial.
I think we both know that rolling to the floor means the match ends, so we just both do that immediately.
Exactly. Headlock. Straight to the floor we go. Skyotonic, I asked this before, with the Fiend using the Mandible Claw, which move does he steal like that? Like he took the Mandible Claw from Foley. What's the next move he steals?
Well, he's fighting Braun, so like the power. Bray could do probably a pretty decent power slam. Dr. Steve Winters, why did WWE blow their load so early and let Ford and Andrade fight? They could have waited till seems like could have waited till SummerSlam after that backstage segment. SummerSlam? You mean after SummerSlam? Because they're fighting at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
I think it was
just wait till the tag match. I don't know.
It was to build to SummerSlam.
Yeah. Night by night, since Ivar has the Force now, but only for turkey legs, what weirdly specific and mostly useless powers would you like to give other wrestlers?
Oh, wow. Damian Priest would have the ability to not see his own reflection.
There you go. So he'd be a vampire.
Yeah. Ooh, Oscar Granados. What do you guys think of Mickie getting the jobber entrance tonight? Not even getting a full match.
And then most of the match was focused on Joe and Seth.
I mean, dude, when you get to a certain point in your career where you're fulfilling a certain role, and her role is to do what she did tonight. I'm sure she's getting paid.
Count out.
Like, she was totally with it, too. She was
Lose
like,
by count out to someone who's been in the company for like a dozen years.
she was like, oh, I'm down here on the ground. I can't get up. 10. Oh.
Putting over the young talent, too.
Well, comparatively speaking, when did Mickie James debut? Like 20 years ago? It was like
know.
2000, wasn't it?
Something like that. Natalya's been in the company for a long time.
Since like 2008 or so?
Yeah, she's been...
Mickie James predates that by like 8 years.
So Natalya's 38. Mickie James is 40.
What year did Mickie James debut? It was like 2005?
She debuted in WWE in 2006. Nope, 2005. Sorry, 2005.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see here. Dom said, sorry about the whole Terry business. I'll stop intentionally gifting subs to wrestlers. You have nothing to apologize for. I put this in chat. You have nothing to apologize for. Your intentions are pure. Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Enjoy tons of bonus videos, including patron-only live shows, gameplay, and vintage 10 for the wins, access to podcast question threads, the Friendo Care Package, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson.